The big story. Ne Joseph Tamale Mirundi mutano wana Mirundi nemuli namatovu nkwaniza muyorwalero muri yo mutya yunaje musinzira mukulike mu byaro tract nteka zitambula nazo izaba nafokula kulanya abavuka kubazimba mugire yenjawulo banafa baro tract international bavazi kunyonyola leka abavuka babekune bibabera mnafu bitwali tukulanga abavubuka waliwo ebintu byetwaberanga mu nga bituzimba nze nali mu scout ddala banga lyange lyonna mu primary mu secondary obu scout we wasoko kuntambuza okunzija wano bubu Kenya bubu Tanzania uyo Rwanda uyo Geneva byali bu scout nga we bwali buntambuza kale abavu ne bunyonona obu scout that is an indictment wanga ndi ndimo obu ne bunyonona buti
that's why you are very obedient oli awo bakukula mu fuse nze bintu ebyo naliyingira mu koya y'essomero I recited a poem for Idi Amin in 1971 nalimo P3 and I became a village celebrity. Chitange nangama nti bibya katembo ogenda kuberanga kabaya. Leave drama alone. Nampa assignment. Kuuliza radio zona.
Nti teyamanya kiri mu drama.
Nawona.
Ade katolu farmers not members of parliament today.
Yes,
Sibanene mu kwanga
you see there is a Katemba man and a clone. Yes, they are different. Kati mubaba kulamu. That's why I'm radical Muganda.
I thought you scout bwansomesa bulungi as a scout.
Singa wayingira maje cyali kuyambi. Era wano mu Uganda waliwo blaza yaberanga Kisubi St Mary's after the Second World War. Abana be Kisubi baso okukola mu chaka. Era many of them ended up in the police force.
Scout bwantegeka wanga be prepared buli ekijja kyonna nkirinda. Era ndi musajja mugumunyo kulanga bwe bakola mu fuse wona
kukula nze sabi yengiranga mwe
bankula mu fuse
nanzo mwana ange ne mulaba mwebyo simayi scout simayi nabuli yo junior
tobyagala
junior namugamba nti once you were head boy ugenda ku performing abo why because head boy mu somero arabinga shoulders with the teachers but you were below the teachers 6 years Gutona yingira na mu university. Neba no boli na bemere bokola ki. That's why many of Makere Giridi presidents baina pass degree. Echi mu Museveni che yakola. 2 days ago ekibina kyamuze ebidandisali.
PPP, the Progressive People's Party.
Kakati kikulemberwa gundi yaliwo Saddam Gaira. Bachaziza a delegation of South Africa and they invited me.
The party is still active
to address them. A party yamanyi bebasinza premises ezamanyi. Don't joke.
People's Progressive Party.
Yes, I went there as an expert to address these people on the history of Uganda, multi-partyism in particular. Nembaga nti Museveni kye yabakola bano abo bumula ba opposition yabatera wo muwumbo gw'emmere ku every level. So if the opposition does not have the urge of taking power and is comfortable where you are, then you cannot remove Museveni. This is what Museveni did.
Weta muwumbo gw'emmere
buli wamu. Namboze is more wealthy than me.
True.
Yes,
but because she works for herself.
But anti nkubulira nti ojja wa sente nga buli oyingira parliament ofuna million 13 za motoka ate sibe bagikugulira ekyo kikumala in 5 years if you get 30 million per month times 60 the month 1.8 billion take it to any bank is insured okola ebintu bimeka. You have been given a capital of 1.8 billion.
Nebo sasanya kolu.
Nebo taddayo.
Nogandi kanko.
That's why tibakoze.
Nogandi.
Era nabagenti eno strategy eyokubba amabati n'okubba sente za parish money. Consolidate your constituents. Everybody will talk to you. First consolidate ne munyiwa.
Wekumire woli.
Sente Museveni bwazikuwa zibbe. Consolidating ati okukwata oyina abantu afigitinga bufigitinzi Museveni kuba ati obakwata. What if they form a political party?
Agenda bakwata
wapi
muhoza alabudde Muhozi.
Muhozi yemukiriza.
Muhozi again nti the nonsense of stealing our future is ending now.
Yes. And let me tell you. I'm seeing in 2026 Muhozi appearing on the ballot box.
Where would his father be?
And it will be
or both of them.
We create a contradiction. Muhozi will create a contradiction for his father. Can you compete with your son? What would be the basis, the campaign of Muhozi? If your son is
actually Muhozi's campaign is shaped in a way that he looks at the wrongs by his father. He says ababbi abagumikiriza for us we shall not.
Yes.
Byonna alaga nti when it comes
ono munno fadduka namulabye ku byuma byange nga aparikinga. Fe Abaganda tuli beetuti. Omuganda akuga nti nonjoga nongoba mu State House noyonoona buli kintu kyange kyonna because I don't belong to your project. You have a project. Otujoka otunireko otunyaleko. Fe tukugamba ekintu kimu, Omuganda akugamba ekintu kimu. Ogenda ewammwe mu nsozi. Noga nti munnanga anjooze. Yayina amannyo nze sirina. Naye ajoganga yayina mukozi omu.
Noga mu nsozi, what do you mean? Ogenda mu nsozi Abaganda? Mu nsozi to do what?
Ababiina.
Nolopa mu nsozi.
Andi misambo egiba mu nsozi nga nze abiina.
Bakunyiriza mu State House n'owenzekera mu nsozi.
Nabagamba mmwe. Okatera mandwa nti injineeseza akayo kali bakaliijo. Omuziba akugamba nti bw'okuba emmandwa n'oginiesa mu ngoye bwesituka ku ttaka kyokkola mulaba mwenda amuleke kyalinga. Muhozi is coming. Ate sina kyenfiirwa.
And if he's coming, he's coming to manage what?
Nze sina kyenfiirwa. Why? Nakugaa nti ewaffe waliyo esajja nga baliyita nfiiriddwaki. Balituma nfiiriddwaki. Muwala waalyo yagenda nayagala bba wa ssengaawe. Natta obufumbo bwa ssengaawe. Ne bajja baliga nti akavudde Kampala ogawulidde.
Nti nedda.
Kiki ekibaddeyo nti amawano gagudde. Omwana wasse obusinga obufumbo bwa ssenga. Kyabaga naye muli basiru. Kati nfiiriddwaki si kyalimuko.
Ku mwannyinaze embeera muko ne ku muwala wa.
Ono mulabeko kabangali nga gikangobaddeko ne galubintize ng'embuzi ennume. Yeyangoba yamwenyabonyeza emyaka 10 oba Museveni oba Muhozi nfiiriddwaki. Kasitono yabanga adduse ne tubalabako kabangali nga bazikanga bali aba. Ate mwana ngono omukomo nala ka muntu abantu tebamumanyi. Naye ebyekokola bali aba kiwanuka ne banna ababiri. Muli balabako nga badduka. Public ebamanyi abajoze ensaba ginyedde ku mutwe. Nti nina okukkiriza project. You have a project. Why don't you think that I also have a project?
So Mr. Museveni meets the Parliament today. Ng'asobola okwogera ku nsonga nga ez'amabaati ogamba nti bimulemye ali mu kutya okubagoba.
Let me tell you.
No.
Let me tell you. Nze kati sikyatawaana nammwe. Ate gwe oli musomi wa Lungereza mulungi. Kubanga nikugamba nakubulya Parliament omanyi bangoba mu 2014.
Bagoba 2014.
Ono yalowooza mbu ajja kunyigiriza nzikirize. I come from a rich family.
Mirundi tugenze katabo.
Tugende
katabo obadde onsobera katabo. Obadde osoba katabo. Tuwadde tuli katabo. Mirundi ya katabo. Tuli katabo Mirundi. Tuli katabo kano.
Nabalabye kati senga kajobire kati omusanyi. Mwali mumujoganga mulowooza mujja mujoganga nze. Katulabeko bakoto. Sadamu yali aseba koddo yabatta. Bali badduse ne bawalabe ne bano bajja kudduka. Ejjo guli bajoze enseno n'ekiwanuka. Kakati nkugamba ndi gwe soma Parliament. Nabadi finingira Parliament. Vawan.
This explains. Okay. This explains why the Public Accounts Committee headed by the opposition has taken center stage in the battle against corruption. What the government has failed to highlight at least at Public Accounts Committee is its own creation. Although it is a Commonwealth principle that the opposition heads Public Accounts Committees, this does not mean that it grants us freedom. PAC is not CID that investigates cases. No, it depends on the Auditor General's reports, whose independence depends on the leader in a particular country. In the case of Uganda, this is granted by Yoweri Museveni. No auditor is a foreign diplomat with diplomatic immunity. What this means is that the Auditor General's independence is granted by the government and the president, not the opposition. However, the public has been made to believe that the Auditor General is a byproduct of the opposition, which has grabbed the credit from the government in fight against corruption. Another important factor is that not all countries have vibrant parliaments. Having an elected parliament does not ensure its freedom. For example, between 1980 to 85, we had multi-party politics. Did we have PAC in the parliament? Did the opposition play its role? In many cases, opposition MPs resorted to boycotts. They did not have the political clout like today, and it's because the executive then did not grant its freedom because Obote was not a diplomat, a Democrat. Parliament's freedom has been granted by the NRM government. Money-making group.
I defined the parliament. Into the what?
2014.
2014. We've uncovered. Nalowooza mbu ajja kunteeka mwanda weyazenga olugozi nfuuka empanama nenkuba era mubye emyaka 10 tukubaganye paka muhoozi lwazzi kati omanyi mu wrestling tukola bwetu kati nze mumuweereza nze nsaba kumulabako kabanga linka agikanga baddeko ne galubindize ng'embuzi ennume gye batwala ku buko soma
kati byoyogedde birimu no mu byensoma
biryomu This
is a shrewd group that has taken advantage of the corruption in the government. Although Parliament must be populist, but this does not mean abandoning its cardinal role. MPs have realized that once the corrupt are subjected to pressure, they play ball. Another score by Parliament against the executive is the nature of its operation. Although this is a legislative assembly, whose cardinal duty would be to make laws, Parliament has surpassed the powers of other usurped the powers of other institutions, and the public does not see this danger of moving towards a parliamentary dictatorship. What?
Yes. Parliamentary dictatorship.
Dictatorship.
And kakati kambabuli, the parliament can make a reshuffle because when it comes to law, what institutions do make laws in a country? The judges, presidents, instruct their judgment. Parliament can make a law. When you have a dictatorship, the president can use decrees. Kakati Parliament is capable of a reshuffle. Parliament is capable of rejecting if the president is nominee.
Yes, it can.
Kakati Parliament has taken over. Government bali kibasazeewo. Kubba katunda ka mulwadde. Muyinza okulaba omujjanjabi nga tali ya mmere wuwe. Ye nga ze kubba bintu bya mulwadde. Ne mumutenda. Bannange gundi alese n'amaka ge n'agenda jjanjaba omulwadde agenze kujjanjaba mulwadde oba kulya. Kakati bano bamaze okusayirya Museveni amagezi because you know they are floating an idea. The president alondebwa mu parliament. Yes. Kuba mulimu ekyetugaa tulina ekyetuira life assurance. Bwogenda mu insurance n'ofuna life bagita life assurance. Why? You will die. No compromise. Uyinza okuba nga bw'oyinsuwalinga muliro ne kutakwata. Naye life assurance era bakebera nnyo bakakase. Oli mulwadde oba toli mulwadde. Kakati Museveni must go. That's no question to an intelligent person. This is why Muhoozi is becoming defiant. And I support him, I salute him. Omusajja ono amujoze nnyo, omulenzi ono amujoze nnyo, namukuba n'amugya mu magye, n'akozesa bategule, n'akozesa kaddalusanja, kati kamwambale, take him on. Now, Museveni Muhoozi should come back in 2031. Wali ogulaba mukuba, wali omujoga, ebyo wabibala, kubanga luli yalina upper hand, kati upper hand bagimuggyeko. Yagambanga Museveni ngene mukuba obutambi kagamba Museveni tekyayina kyakaka kati Museveni must continue. This one is a spoiler. No, you are the spoiler. Kakati Museveni should buy farms for these people badduke abakodomi bababiri nekiwanuka badduke ondo mwana japa kwatira na bazingeko kakati nkubulire negamba
kati nawe kankubuuze nga bwobuuza banno kankubuuze Muhoozi bwafuuka president nga Museveni avuddewo oyo ye gugamba akujoga afiirwaki bonna babe
amukubye nnyo nedda amukubye nnyo amutyo Kamala namulabye we must involve the man is a spoiler you were the spoiler gwotukubye bye buli muntu yenna n'omukuba buli muntu n'omuniyako n'oniya kataka n'oniya ku nakyobe n'oniya ku fefe n'otunyako your time has come muvozuka kube oba abategula abakwatewo abatolewo abalyewo abafatewo abalyewo nga chapati tumuwagira kasi twabano badduka abajoze ensi namwe obugagga bwamwe nembulekawo mwali mukuba nga mwakazaki gwolowooza ntezo kuba muzinga bwokubanze obanze nkolemi emyaka 10 nkubabuula tesitibuka nze bwompita ku mukolo yina okubanga engoye waziguze wange kuba nyizinzinze nzesobola okwambala okusinga omugole kati okola ebintu bibiri nze tompita ku mbagayo bwompita ku mbagayo yina okubanga engoye waziguze wange kuba nze nyambala okusinga omugole
kulaba
era bagenda batuka do you have an appointment nze ni musajja mukulu ngenda ku date nkyayina ku date
ne figa kweri figa jo yamba
kakati nkogamba nti Parliament ekoze ensobi
ati wandi bade musajja munyirivu nnyo singa kyo ina
Parliament ekoze ensobi nti Parliament eyagala okukola okweyisawo okusinga executive but they have not properly analyzed
because that's how the law designed it. It plays an oversight role to oversee the other arms
oversight role.
Yes,
it means nti gwe where Parliament is dominated by the opposition ekyo tukita hanging Parliament era mu Bufaransa bayita cohabitation means the president ayina support mu Parliament but where you have the support in the Parliament nga ekibiina kyammwe kyekina 90% mu Parliament bino tebabikola it is mutuula wansi as a party kasoma okalabe biri nti Parliament tugiyina kubanga ne speaker abayagala kufuuka president to counter you but if the speaker and deputy speaker come from your political party bino tebikolebwa why do you want to have overshine mu American system the vice president does not overshine the president why you will shine during your watch your time yesonga lwaki mu constitution ya Uganda because kanyihamba yakijja mu America the vice president of Uganda does not have any assignment he is an executive aide secretary aide of the president ya mutuma no era anti ulia nefasiri
omita aide wanga nti muyambi wa president omutadde ku level ya
anti ayinachi is an office is an executive umanye nakuzo twina police language oyinza okujja wange nekuganda that one is my domestic assistant tutu yayina bino byegundi bi house girl bisamba boy that one is my assistant domestic assistant
alupoka ni do a cabinet reshuffle
tasobola
nagamba mukandi banomba
mateka bali osome mu constitution ya Uganda taina mukalimo naka kukwata kiwandiko nayo kisoma no zayingalabiye is an executive aide of the president and this is what secondly realized yasoma nga biwandiko bya Museveni mu constitution first vice president bamwa mulimo nagumu why because of the history the vice president Nandiope yalwana nobody Paulo Muwanga yalwana nobody kati bo balowooza olwokuba tebasoma political science tebategeera nti this is not an office. It's not an office. It's the office that was used.
You mean Alupo cannot sack a minister?
Taina. Alupo is an executive aide, messenger of the president.
A short break. The big story, Tamale Mirundi,
we are analyzing Parliament.
And they go and ban some market no later more evidently. So maybe Mirundi. She to Chimoy Miaka Kumi to
Njokola Murabe Kone, Yanjuganga, Ali Kabanga, Sentes and Gavazim, the Munja of Kamil. So much again. No, you never cook Kabanga, the Concabadusi.
Okay, Parliament is seen by the gullible public as succeeding where the executive has failed. When ministers are put to task in Parliament, they are left to fight alone. This explains why Minister Saida Bomba and Dr. Kidu Makuya and the Choga ministers decided to implicate the president in their scandals to win favors from public accounts committee members who are from the opposition. This creates double loyalty. But who can best help one in danger? Is it the Public Accounts Committee or the President? I was amazed when State House officials handed over a list of RDCs to the Presidential Parliamentary Committee, whose bias against the President is obvious even to a baby. The committee recommended the sacking of RDCs because they knew that it would undermine the President. It was intended to prove to the affected RDCs that the President could not protect them. In my opinion, his opinion, Parliament cannot verify one's academic qualifications. This is the role of courts because parliamentarians themselves have had this academic problem and have always been referred to the courts. In order to undermine the President, the committee ordered the scrapping of State House scholarships because these scholarships were giving the President political mileage, which had to be undermined. Interestingly, Parliament was not abolishing the scheme, it was rather being transferred from the President to the Minister of Education, where they can easily share the offers for themselves. So what are you saying about it?
Speaker Chimukozobubi wants to popularize Parliament. But where the government, the ruling party, controls over 75%, Parliament operates differently. There cannot be separation of power. It ceases to be a watchdog because you are now a party. You are the same people. Parliament operates as a people's watchdog if there is real democracy. Kakati banu.
Do you want to say we don't have democracy here?
No. You are 75%. Lwaki abasiramu beyambisa sharia? Abasiramu beyambisa Qur'ani okufuga amawanga. Chobo we are secular state and a non-secular state. What does it mean?
One where predominantly
yes.
There is Islam?
If the Parliament is dominantly NRM, then the Parliament ceases to be a watchdog.
Because she's watching.
Whom are you overshining?
Who are you watching?
Yes. Is your party, is your president. That's why Parker must belong to an opposition. Kati bw'otunuulira eyo kosaseti byaliyo naye baddira omuntu ali crippled nti oyo Ssenyonyi bamugamba talina buyigirize ne bamuyamba. Ssenyonyi, instead of talking about the current, Ssenyonyi is exhuming dead bodies where there are patients that want attention from a medical doctor. How can you say that the Parliament is talking about a hospital, a Kampala Cancer Hospital that was swapped 20 years ago? No, it's a where are you examining dead bodies? Because you cannot attend to the current ones. Which take a ratio.
20
years ago.
Nebaita kijambo yali town club.
Ngo yitani imbobu bo yitani. So kubenyo ndogo nenkwasa omutwe. We already say a lot of water has gone under the bridge. Why do you exhume dead bodies to find their cause of death when there is a line of people, when you are a medical doctor? We want to talk about current issues. He goes back to exhume. Why? He's a hostage. He was brought by these people. He cannot discuss the current one.
Brought by which? Ssenyonyi avume n'alembulira.
Akoze eki?
Isn't brought by those people.
Nkubuulira.
He would be serving.
Buli gyabulira bamuyamba ne bamuyitawo. One of the strongest weapons of the mafia is exposed. Me, I have nothing. I'm clean as ice. Bagenda mu bakazi ne bagamba wama Mirundi omuzaala mu mwana nti genda omwabire tamulabire. Nina abaana 8 omu bwe mba simulabirira kinene nnyo tukobere percentage. Ne mwirabira.
Mirundi. Bonna baba baana bo de.
Waliwo baana 8 memory.
Babajjukira bo.
8 mu mbuto 3. Kakati gwe ngongana mbuto 3 ngompabira mu kooti mwana ange tamulabira na mwirabira. Sina waffe. Muntu wali waffe kitangize tewali musika. Kiti bitu bindetako mu Parliament. Nakugambye I'm not going to declare anything a why gig. Njagala tukuliete konta angobe.
Declare the 8 children.
Sijja ku declare
the 8 children.
Nidumu lilitona byenye emyaka 10. Njagala nayo yiswe berewo nti yakana okudikiralinga kubanga omulezi yamukuba emyaka 10 sente zange zonna ne bazikwata. A Canadian investor gave me money. Muwa musajja yagenda akola ebyo ne bazivombagera. Museveni gave me money n'azikwata. Rich Mirundi is a nuclear bomb. Kale kangende musaba. Otabadde mukozi. Nkulaba nabalabye. We must call senga Kajubi nedda tajja kujja ffe tumwagalako ekintu kimu abajoze ensi abakube kabangali oba abategule tukatuzina muzire mu Kampala akatomu tuve ku musajja ajoze ensi ngali kabangali ekikanga baddeko ng'embuzi yabatwala ku buko ajoze ensi nakubye bakadaga kubye buli muntu yenna bye kulegula muzango okutya kule nange nsula nzina baba hey mulama kankana mumwali mujoga mukoze nga mulowooza mujja mujoga nga ffe.
What can Muhoozi do mu government eno nga bweti kikyayinza okukyusa to reinvent the fortunes of this country?
I've written a book back to the same mujini. Uganda's things
back to the same mujini.
Uganda's problems are simple. They are self-inflicted and they can be solved by Sali. Sali can solve these problems.
So why is he not solving?
And in Kubulia, tell him buli muntu yenna omuklamu jo ono abadde ajoga abantu nga yabakuba buli ayina obwonga amukuba amugyewo yafuge kati paka lwetwamufuire Mindi n'alumba Muhoozi ajja mukuba mumalewo.
Mwafuwa Mindi
mulaba nkabako babiri bali ku kabangali badduka Kiwanuka ye wakwatira wano ye bwamusiba ekibobo Kiwanuka ajoze nnyo abantu. Most of these things are self-inflicted. Let me tell you nti egankulage wano soma wano. All of these problems are solvable. We are talking about an economy. Sari is talking about an economy. You cannot win a competition.
You cannot sort out an economic problem in a wrong political setting.
You cannot win a sex competition by raping your daughters.
Abakola state propaganda mwito toyinza kutereza byanfuna ng'ebyobufuzi bifu.
Ebyobufuzi byebisoka. You can be a dictator. Suharto mu Indonesia yali dictator. Abajapani bajja okukola emmotoka factory y'emmotoka n'abaga nti emmotoka mugituume erinnya ly'omwana wange. It does not matter. I mean, it was okay. Dictator. The people do it good. But you cannot win a sex competition by raping your daughters. No. You cannot steal from the same government. You look at the primitive Britain. Read it there. Primitive Britain. How Britain built capitalism. Temuita kubba gavumenti yammwe ne mugibba buli kantu konna ne mugaa nti ate munaabeerawo nga akatunda k'omulwadde mukabba.
Kale, how nations get wealth.
Yes.
Having explained the incidents above and the realistic answers that Jesus gave, let me deal with the post-Jesus era and the birth of capitalism, capitalistic Britain. For those who do not study how Britain developed from England to become the United Kingdom, almost the same size as Uganda, and went on to colonize the entire globe, this is your chance to get this important information. To Ugandans playing around with land reforms, be informed. Katabo kafeka page musanvu. Be informed that the land problem helped England to dominate the world. The land problem also shaped modern France, which had a challenge of uncontrolled large administrative centers. This is the same challenge facing Yoweri Museveni's government. In the 1215 AD, landlords in Britain signed an agreement popularly known as the Magna Charta with the King John of England. Under this agreement, Britain was divided into what you would call districts presided over by a warlord or landlord. In clear terms, this looked more like the 1900 Uganda Agreement, which granted 1,000 landlords with 8,000 square miles of land each. The colonial surveyors had found 19,600 square miles of land in Uganda. However, the Kabaka was allocated only 350 square miles of land. The 9,000 square miles were reserved for future generations. This means the Kabaka of Uganda, who previously controlled all the land in Uganda, lost that privilege. Secondly, the peasants who had lived on land in Uganda automatically became squatters, basenze, and the property of the landlord to whom they had to pay envujo in terms of produce items like maize, beans, etc. They also had to pay nominal rent, busuru, at 8 every year. I always ask myself, to whom did God give a land title when he created the world? God did not partition the world into title land, since he wanted different people to live and settle in different places with whatever they needed to operate as a state.
Nyongerako Black Revolt.
The Black Revolt.
What I'm telling you, that the problem you have in Uganda have been solved by the countries. Land reform Gisome.
Oh. That the other countries solve the problem we have.
Whatever is happening in Uganda is not unique to Uganda. Other countries have solved these issues. Here, when you get a competent man like me, I know kubera mu lugosi lw'omuntu yayina kubeera ng'ali mwendo bamucontrollinga. He must be a hunting dog.
What can a competent man like you do?
Yes, I've given you guidelines. Sari is competent on the economy.
Who is he?
Basuluma bani tayogera. Muhozi is anti-corruption. Amukubi wa miji kamutukubire. mulabaka nedda muhozi tatenga meeting bategeseyo family meeting nedda luli obadde ogamba nti Museveni akoye kakati muhozi amaze okufunako apahande is a spoiler gwe tukubye. We can even form a part around Muhozi. The party of abajogeddwa.
Let me read the Black Revolt.
Read the Black Revolt. We are angry people, very bitter people. When we get an opportunity, we vomit. Volcano.
It is only you is angry. We don't hear other people speaking. But
where is a center? Where is a account in the book? Beomulezo yatujoga. Omulenzi ajoza abantu. Muhozi n'abategula esezina. Nebalaba ku koto ababiri ababajoze sine kiwanuka nga bali kabangali. Mujja kulaba iki amazina mu Kampala. Andi kakati kankubuuze. Singa Muhozi ajja. Let me tell you. If you are competing over a woman with your son, public ani alekera munne.
Nze nina okuleka.
Yes,
my son.
Katulabe ku mulenzi ono ngadduka. Museveni yalemeddwa okukwata ku mukoddomi. Why? Yali badde amutwala bweru. Si kumuwa bya busuubuzi. N'akomawo n'awandika mawulire n'ajerega ono. N'akwata ssente. You should separate the two. Naye toyinza kumala kuba Muhozi. Muhozi was fighting in Congress, was accumulating wealth.
Okay, Mirundi, if Museveni and Muhozi appeared on the ballot, who do you vote?
I will vote Muhozi. Why? For 10 years, has Museveni given me anything? Museveni akiziganya no nanjoga.
You will vote for Muhozi?
Yes.
Against Museveni?
A new, at least maybe I will have a new arrangement. Museveni yangobanga mubbi wanko ko chikedisifa nanganyuga kasasiro. Kubanga onankubi. Nembera has Museveni given me any money in 10 years? Has Museveni given me any money? Bawanga sente beka Muhozi yazireta. The only money Museveni has given me mabugo ngomwana nge bamusi. Where is Museveni's money in my family? Where is it? Andi kugambye yaweereza sente mmeka. Tewali nazigana ezannalweyiso. Ffe bwe tugwembangeze waffe mu nsozi sizikwatawo. Nfa. We cannot share a same room. We cannot breathe the same air. Kumuntu anjoza nzitidde omwana nanjoga nanya ku mutwe ndatta political career yange tikiriyo munsi. Even God cannot preside over a reconciliatory process. Nabalabye jonga bagamba. This Mirundi, if Mirundi is given money, ne mu Canada ziyampa nazo ne muzitwala. If Mirundi is given money, he must remain a member of the think tank. Sisobola. Nindavuga. But he shouldn't be a member of the think tank. He should do what go under it. And these are statements that annoy me. Mfugo otyo mulenzi gwe. Lwaki omfugo nnemeddeko? Tojja ffenna okitanga yeewolako ewamu ssente. Soma gundi ebyo bya Britain.
Bwe mba nsoma mba njagala n'osiika kuba bw'osiika nsoma naye tolina by'osiika mba nsoma n'oyogera nsomayo kamu ekakutabula. The Black Revolt. Mirundi yannyonnyola engeri y'amawanga amalala gye gaasolovingamu ensonga z'emivuyo ku ttaka, the land reforms, the land problem. Kale, the Magna Charta in Britain gave powers to the landlords to control the basenze as if they are slaves. All sorts of torture and harassment were meted on basenze, and more like the case of Uganda. The landlords and basenze were British. The landlords had been elevated to these privileges by their positions and status, not by academic performance, hard work or bravery in battles. The population therefore resisted and challenged their authority. It was around this time that Britain underwent the Industrial Revolution. This is the time when towns and cities were developing. The merchants and explorers had acquired marine technology and gunpowder to conquer foreign lands. The smelting of iron ore and the importation of silver, diamond and gold became an economic venture. This is what motivated traders to venture into the hinterland for slaves, ivory and minerals. This reminds him of the cross-border smuggling business during the Idi Amin era in Uganda, commonly known as Magendo. This followed the collapse of the economy in Uganda and the expulsion of the Indian community that were in control of East African communities. Once the people failed to get basic goods from shops, they switched to Magendo. The word Magendo comes from a Luganda word, Rugendo, which means a long distance journey. This was in relation to the distance the traders trekked ferrying goods across the borders of Uganda. Magendo business involved the smuggling of coffee to neighboring countries in exchange for goods that were not easily accessible in Uganda. The smugglers operated on Lake Victoria and used engine-powered canoes. What must be clear, however, is that Idi Amin craved to maximize earnings from coffee and was not ready to allow this business, thereby declared it illegal and risky. Amin handed over the responsibility to block this business to his right-hand man, Bob Assos. He had orders to shoot on sight. Back to Britain?
Yeah. Ulabi Black vote. We are solving a problem with that. Museveni has failed to solve on land reforms. What am I doing? All Ugandan problems are solvable because they are self-inflicted. You get a serious man like Muhozi.
Do you want to say Museveni does not know this? He does not have knowledge on this one?
Tasobola kuliforminga kintu ki.
Why?
Anti ayinaba walabako kumuzanyo bajje baguddemu. Mujje muddemu omuzanyo gwe bayita bantu bange. Bantu bange baguzanya mu kinaana. Naye sibagira bali baba akayimbira abo. Omwana yasikira family ya kitaawe nga mugagga. Ne mugasengawo atunze famu yegindi. Naga bannange senga mumuleke. Kubanga bwe twafa taata bwe yafanga tuli bato senga yatukuza eyo negenda. Bantu bange. Yes, bantu. Bwe mugande wayi mugende mujje kubapangisha begindi sente nti koje yazitutte. Koje yatutte sente baba koja yayamba nnyo maama waffe mu buto mumuleke yayamba nnyo bannange mumuleke ali amabaati mukuleke amabaati agabbe muleke sente azibbe achenji kawala kato nkalyoka kogera endwadde ze nakalabeera ngonga kawala kato kadduka buddusibwe mukaleke kaliye mukuleke baba dayana bw'aba alya sente ng'azimba ebizimbe kitaawe bambi yafa kitaawe lwakasisi ye yamutta abo bantu bange. This what is Kagame is a better Museveni yeta biina ekisooka abantu be bonna beyalwana nabo yalinga makiveri yabatwala mu disale Jeno Kayumba Tulance Kopolo gwe ono tafire singa yogerere wa Kagame gwe kagwe walwana atakuja kenyota nakufuna Lance Kopolo era bamuleta utafire arufaite ati bwe mwali mumukuba ayisevudi utafire ngone yenyini atudde mujoza atudde mu meeting mafia kuko should not come back nibadira 4 billion bazimuteka nzaba nyankole naye muhoza muhozi yumujoze nnyo muhozi mumujoze nga nzaba kambwe tuli basane
muhozi omwana
muhozi namukuba mawulire namukuba ngatamidde namuleta Sheba naleta kano kategule kajja kudduka n'entwe yako ako kanna Lusanja tojoganga muntu muyiche yakola bakikuyo abamweregamu tegula ayina kudduka tegule n'enna Lusanja bayina kudduka nga muhoza afuze eggwanga
kati tegula mu bino
agenda muwabira mu kooti mu flabuting military rules
is a lawyer
I am a expert kajja kudduka n'entwe yako kati
from mudaka eri wafichi side ayina right etwala omuntu mu kooti Mirundi nze njagala nsome
kajja kuduma ko n'ento yako n'enna Lusanja.
I don't think
humiliate person nomubuza wabeera always create an escape route for somebody kujja mujoka yingize mwanda bweyazange ng'olugosi bwezijako program ze bwezijako ki nakala kalina omuntu okalinga ebbulo tubakubye ne bujingo yabakuba kasa yawasa kati Teddy mukawa wabukedde
mukabuji
ate okujja kungo omukwatidde eyo yawasa n'amala ye kimala yakigga nenda ba pastor God this man must be arrested with his malaya, taken to Kitalia, and the church closed. Nenda bechifarisayo. Natwalira bujingo video mugala bakisajja kino.
Omwise mukabukedde.
Yo mukabukedde kati.
Bukedde ye yawa.
Ye yadifo bujingo yadifo sigala k'Ekiganda. Ababukedde ne bakuba Kiganda bawagira Kiganda omukazi yakwanye. What about the moment bujingo became the chief celebrant ku mukolo gwa muhozi nga akuze emyaka 4 obusajja babukedde n'entwe zaabo namwe bajja batta kulino n'ababukedde bagenda kino ekinabeerawo ojja kulema kwa busenga ngadduka ne kulubya bakubye abantu nedda kulubya ne kwa busenga bakubye ensi ne bagimalawo nakano kasebbowa kakubye ensi
abamuhozi be bali mu new vision kati badoni wanyama be bali yabo bamwe katusoke tukole commercial break ndi asubira okuzina amazina mu Kampala dayoloza baligendo kyalipo na gazina nabo kaddiye
mbabulire omuntu omu yatawanya government for presidential ambitions fenda yatukubanga natuteeka wano n'amala okukoni yakuba akataka n'abani yako bannakyobe n'abani yako n'alyoka ateekamu abantu be once Muhoozi comes ono nadduka akabinja k'abajozi ne kadduka bano babalabako kabangali nga bazekanga baddeko ng'embuzi ennume gye batwala ku buko nze ndaga wange kwebaka
ijja kusiba
nkubuulidde Muhoozi najja ngenda wange kwebaka none yanjoga abadduse
oboona ali awo
nanjoga abadduse nze nasetisiza bagamba nti he must go to his home and rot zine enkofiira Museveni yali ampadde ku ssente Muhoozi yali ampadde ku ssente nze bakuba kundeeridde kasito nadduka eyazimba sabutafiiti mu gavumenti ya Sezala Muhoozi najjo nadduka nga bwenda bwamutya nekiwanuka nadduka oba ne bamukwazirawa abakoto ne badduka enseeterera mu lunaku olwo omwana
nenga nawo kinamu bwongo nti Muhoozi ayinza okujja nakuba memba ba family
omwana bamutwale
baba abanyina n'abasiba
he wants to be his own man omwana bamutwale ekitovu mu ddwaliro ng'alisowa kilo 10 bwe bamala omujjamu envunza nasowa kilo 12 ng'envunza zibadde za kilo 3 naye yebaka otulo kasi amuddira ono ejoza abantu ono nadduka Muhoozi namutubira ku piika bwese bakambi these things kebera land reform this country that is not suffering from unique diseases ne bakwata omusajja omwaya alwadde gundi ne bamujja Kongo ne bamutwala ekasa ne kajjayo omumu gwako ono nakolagana ne mulamu we ne babba ssente ne babunyabunya abantu okubala ne bakuba
back to Britain back to Britain
okulangira endwadde ezitaliyo bakakunya emimu Somaliland reforms
wanze ndi musomesa bwe mbasoma ino okusirika mateeka g'ekisomesa when the people heard about the development in emerging cities they decided to migrate to townships and mercy. This trend startled landlords who relied on these peasants to sustain their agriculture business, since there were no contractors to replace casual labor supplied by peasants. It is said that a person at the verge of drowning will grab a straw or hay, hoping that it would save him from death. This applies to how landlords in England responded. This is how the landlords in Britain responded. The landlords believed that intimidation and threats would stop the exodus of peasants to emerging cities. They even introduced tough measures, including the following. The act of peasants to relocate to towns was criminalized. If anyone decided to leave the village, they would do everything they meant to stop him from reaching his destination. The first-time offender would have his hand amputated to serve as a living example to those intending to flee. The second-time offender would have his second hand cut off. The third-time offender would be sentenced to death. Like all unplanned and ill-thought policies, these tough measures sparked massive rebellions across England. Peasants staged what came to be known as the Black Revolt, in which many landlords were killed. Later, a peaceful agreement was reached by both parties as follows. Landlords agreed to sell the land to peasants who could afford to buy. Number 2, that those who wish to migrate to cities were free to go. And number 3, Those that remained behind would observe Sunday service and observe it as a public holiday. Landlords further agreed that if a peasant dies, his family and friends would be given a day off to mourn the deceased. The conditions as highlighted in the agreement above opened doors to peasants to leave villages in large numbers and go to urban centers. As a result, two factors emerged. One, the departure of peasants in large numbers left villages empty, and landlords resorted to rearing sheep. This period is referred to as the fencing period in the English history. As people left villages, the landlords fenced off the land and ventured into wool production. The second factor is the introduction of the vagabond law in the cities. This law is intended to minimize joblessness and crime in the cities. Cities introduced tough laws to regulate new immigrants and force them to look for jobs in factories. A prison sentence was slapped on immigrants that refused to work in factories.
You take it? How Britain solved this land?
Very well.
Yeah, very well. In 1928, because when I was addressing this delegation from South Africa, hosted by Bidandi's party, the history of Uganda, I told them that the British came to trade. They were traders. Education missionaries were just for, we call them accidental benefits. But the interest was, that's why when Saleh told me that the name Bakuli comes from General Bakele. General Bakele created a big cotton buying company at Bakuli, at the present Bakuli.
So it was Bakele?
Bakele, General Bakele. Because we could talk about the cotton farming in England. Bishop Ballop came with the seeds of cotton, not Bibles. So because these people came to trade, one, they ensured that the peace prevailed. An efficient small but efficient police. Two, in fact, people believed at that time that a police detective can force a corpse to reveal its killers. Chovola bafe mu Baganda, kasola mu mulambo nga bagujjemu olulimi, bagenza kugula ogwo muzimu gana okwogera. This way it originated. Because of an efficient intelligence police, where real corrupts were arrested, not corruption. Batandika kugamba waliwo omusajja ano bamuyitanga Lupoti yali mukulu wa police netalina madajja mulemu kusolovinga. Yabakuŋŋaanyanga ekyalo kyonna n'afuwa emmindi bw'ati. N'alabamu abatulembolinga. Arrest Sandiso. Mu Bukatuliki, penitentia father tayogera byomubuulidde. But the colonial police used Catholic priests in the cases of capital offenses. Ate ye father abamunda mu Dakanese ekitegeeza akulaba ate gwe tomulaba. Guli mulayiti. Mwana wange omuntu gwe mwamutaddewa oyo oyogedde wejjusa. Ffe twase gundi. Mulambo mwagutaddewa. Father akubuuza. Nabuulira colonial police. They come and arrest you. Kakati the police ensured an efficient police. Peace prevailed. This is why people are still suffering from nostalgia. The colonial government was efficient. Waliwo omusajja bamuyita Bazira akaluba Bakabbe Entebbe yagamba nti mpita governor mpita queen akomewo. In fact, at independence, they deceived the Baganda of Mengo, the Mengo people. Nti we shall have a governor general. Robert Yabavuma. How can you have a governor general in an independent country? Baba Gantandu Kohen Jakubera as a governor general. A governor general is in the countries where the queen remains, or king now, remains in charge. Australia, Canada, New Zealand, they have governor generals. On Asigalawo. Ati, olwokuba bajja kusuubula, bavangayo nnyo ku economy. I told you. In 1928, the Basoga produced more cotton than Uganda. It led to an inquiry by Governor Crawford. Governor Crawford inquired why the stubborn Basoga could produce more cotton than Uganda. First of all, the most dangerous person in the Second World War was appointed DC in Busoga. Ekyo badde okimanyi? Buli musajja omukambwe yenna bamutwalanga Busoga. The Busoga were very independent. There are only two nationalities in Uganda that are independent and stable, the Bakiga and the Busoga. Although the Busoga had the centralized authority, Yalema, Mulimira Bakabaka Bameka. In fact, Busoga is governed by the United Emirates. Kabaka yakwata abana be n'abawamasaza Emirates. Yes.
It is a kingdom.
That's why in 1919 the colonial government created Kyabazinga. Azinge banne, and they gave him a lot of money. Kyabazinga Nadiope. Very powerful. Nga mu Busoga bwoyagala okuwangula akalulu olina okuteekako ekifaananyi kya Nadiope. Era bali batandise bwe batandika Kabaka ek'Abaganda, Abasoga bateekawo Kyabazinga yenka. Wali okiwuliddeko? Kyabazinga yenka. Bakuba Bakabaka ek'emigga Busoga okamala obukamazi. Bwe bagenda okuteekayo Kabaka yekka. Nabandi bateekawo Kyabazinga yenka. That's why Nadiope was very powerful in your piece. In fact, when Obote came up with this provision in the constitution, the president of Uganda Jakubamba traditional leaders, many UPC people wanted in Nadiope. Si Mutesa. Era bwe bali balonda Mutesa mu parliament, Obote's cousin Adeko Nechoni refused to vote. Said they cannot vote a playboy who was fighting against Uganda's independence. Sinza mulonda. Nechuni yagana okulonda mu parliament. Gandhi read the hazard. Naye Obote bw'amala okugamba Necho Gonde nti Mutesa gwendese kuba president. Omanyi Nadiope kye yakola. Nadiope moved from his seat and grabbed Obote's collar. Don't kill me, comrade. Let me create the vice president's job.
Ngani akwata monetary.
Nadiope yakwata Obote mu parliament. Ebitoji.
Kumugema
mu parliament kamaze okulangirira Mutesa.
Ngamulanga kyolo.
Anti ekifo kyali kya Nadiope.
Oli n'akigaba.
N'akigaba.
Yamustukira.
Ate waliwo ekifo kya vice president. This is why the vice president's job is cast. Tekyali mu constitution ekyo vice president. Nadiope moved quietly and gradual. Nagenda akwata Obote ebitoji.
Munkoto. Yamgomo.
Don't kill me, comrade. I've created the job for you, vice president. Obote created the job, the post of vice president in the parliament under Nadiope's pressure. Hey.
The big story. Joseph Tamale Mirundi ayenda
akasajja katulise kalise 10 ejoko no tumwadize mukuni kunya kubana baba namwe abaje kola mu state house Nadiope yakwata Obote
kati we byana Nadiope byoyenda
kakati
byoyagala
ngukamba no what I'm explaining is the economy nti as a result Governor Crawford put up an investigative team that found out that cotton production in Uganda had declined. Why? The landlords, like in Britain, envujo was progressive. Oyina cotton in sawo 10 nanyini takatwala 5. So the Uganda found out that we're growing for nothing. In Busoga ngatosobola bakwatako. Do you know? Nti Busoga Abasoga bagana okutembeba emmese ngati zibatta plague nga abamalawo. What the Bazungu did, they created a fund to buy emikira gy'emmese. Most of the schools and the churches in Busoga were constructed from this fund. Omusoga bwe yattanga emmese nga gijjako omukira nga gutwala mu factory mu church kati nga abakyaki batunda emikira ewa gavana. You don't know this?
Nanitoza nti Abaganda be batujeregamu.
No.
Etuufu liva wala akatali k'emmese kali Busoga.
But it was no, it wasn't Busoga alone. When the Indians wanted to chase away the British, they reared snakes. Jibabojji. Kakati abazungu ne bakola ensobi ne beeyambisa ekyebusoga. But because the Indians are commercial, they are commercial oriented. What the Indians did was to start commercial rearing of snakes to fund neggwawo. In fact, abasawo b'amaaso abasinga obungi omanyi nti Basoga, there was an affirmative action by the British government to train Basoga okujjanjaba amaaso. Basoga not easy people, they're Kibakiga. Who has given Museveni Senate? How do you see that the two chancellors of Ogulu and Makerere are Bakiga? Bakiga giving himself in the Senate. Nabadde ekamuli nina program gyenkola yekamuli ku lw'omukaaga ne ebifaananyi bya gundi nga babiyuzizza nti mama Busoga agenda kukyalayo ate muleke kuprovokinga bantu. This woman used to be my friend. Mama Busoga must be the wife of Kyabazinga. Mama Busoga cannot be a politician.
Yes, can be.
Yes.
I agree with you.
This is why these Baganda feudalists wanted to intimidate me. They ended up intimidating another person.
But
why?
in the absence of the wife of the Kyabazinga, the people have created their own Mama Busoga.
It can't be.
Maybe because of...
Wait, mubobuti komuli mwerinya bayita Nabagereka lyeyita olabe. Nabagereka mweriri. Nabagereka is a name in Uganda, but it is only referred to Kabaka's wife. Lyeyita olabe. Lubanga. Eri Lubanga. Mu Baganda Lubanga. Yarula abalongo. Kyobulaba nti Nabagereka's revelations tebazaala abalongo is a big problem to the feudalists who performed the rituals.
Ani yayalula
abalongo abo.
Oba babatiza babatize.
Anti kankubuli ate bayinza obutabawemula. Nabagereka baba bagenda okuzaala azaala ne Nabikande. Nabikande ye mukazi azaalisa Kabaka. Kabaka bamuyita Nabikande. This is why
maybe in modern times
atawati ayinza kibajjako nga taito weeri Nabikande waali. Nabaga nti omutaka gwe bayita Nadduli Kibaale awozesa Kabaka ng'akubye bakazi be n'amukuba embooko. Nadduli Kibaale akuba Kabaka embooko. That is his role.
Where do you get this things?
I'm in Uganda. The Kabaka of Uganda cannot kill Mugema, the head of the Monkey Kiran, my Kiran. You kill him, he is also killed immediately. Hey, Sibya kuzanya.
Nti waliwo asobola okuba Kabaka.
Nadduli Kibaale lolo ye yakuba Kabaka miggu kumuwozesa nga akubye bakazi be talina kubakuba. Buganda ina checks and balances.
On the Kabaka?
Ate nze Monkey Kiran nfukamirya Kabaka. Nowe ngutafukamirya Kabaka. Huyeyiko.
And you have deep Chiganda history, but again the things you go on saying that
the best law on succession you find it in Uganda. The Baganda have the best rule of succession. How? When Kabaka tibaiza kugera nti Kabaka afudde nti akishiza omukono, you said different person on the throne. No. Kabaka tabikwa. Ekyoto tekizikira. Gwe wulira mujaguzo walimu ngoma bagiyita mujaguzo balugave be bagikuuma. Ng'olabawo mulangira mulala. Baategeera nti bw'oteekawo lapusi.
Waliwo abayinza okuyingira mu kintu.
Ne bakiwambirawo. Bonna baba balindiridde. Kakati balabewo mulala ng'atuddewo. Ekyoto tekizikira. Ekyoto kya Buganda tekizikira. Kakati in modern times.
Can we do those things today?
Bayita olukiiko lwa Buganda. According to the 1900 agreement, the Kabaka of Buganda is elected in the Lukiiko. They bring the names of the descendants of Mutesa I in the Lukiiko. The name which receives the highest number of votes is declared the king, but it must be approved by Queen Victoria or the successor of Queen Victoria, who is the president of Uganda. The president of Uganda approves the Kabaka.
Tebikola what?
Ati ye reality.
The president.
Kakati mwe, when they know that the Kabaka is about to die, bakwata abalangira bonna ne babasaba mu kkomera. The mutaka who controls these people nga bali mu kkomera is called Kasujjulubinga. I think Kasujjulubinga okubinga comes from a Kinyankole word to defeat. The person who defeats the powerful Balangira.
Okubinga and so means to chase. To kubinga to chase. Ngawe na government.
Bayola Balangira bonna gye bali. Nga bategedde Kabaka agenda kufa. N'okube Kasujjulubinga mu kkomera. Bajjayo ogwo awangudde akalulu. The rest remain prisoners. a close relative of the Kabaka cannot become Sabalangira. A Sabalangira is a descendant Kabaka. Abari of Wakabaka Tabamulinana. This is a rule.
That is rich. Uganda history.
Kubanga bwavaawo ku ntebe n'agituulako. Agituddeko abaamuwambi mujaguzo bwevuga. Kakati to ensure Mulangira in Uganda moves with a bell. Like a person is suffering from leprosy. Owe bigenge no Mulangira batambula mu Buganda nga bayina ekide. Where are you going? Are you going to attack your brother? So I'm telling you, these people are fighting over succession. Study Uganda culture. What Museveni has to do, these two serious contenders, I think that Muhozi is becoming defiant and I support him. Let us
look at the succession.
One of them
so what is succession? Yes. So what Museveni has to do is to get the two contenders and do what with them?
One should go. Because what Museveni is doing is to balance the boat. But what he has is...
So you think there is also another kingdom called Uganda?
And let the two have imagined. Nabagan tukiita akazu. When you undermine or kill your stepchildren, then the battle enters your family, your womb. Kakati inaba contenders abo. Bobi Wine aina limitation izizi. Bobi Wine tasobola kuwangula kalulu. Anti nkubuulira. Why? Why can't Bobi Wine win? Anything, if you want Ugandans to isolate something, make it a Uganda thing. Chigandish. Once you have...
Make
it Chigandish. That's what Obote did. Obote bali akuba DP mu kinana.
Sajjamu mwenna mujoga buli ajja navaawo aliwo n'abaddako bonna bwe bati toyawula. Kafuka mu deputy opposition we. Busoga yonna district 12. Zero one nuko wakafuka mu deputy opposition whip ebyobusi.
Nanga abakoledde.
Omukazi osinga yali asula yandibiganye n'okubigana.
Baniyeko bampe sente nfukamire bankanyuge kasasiro sisobola.
So contender one, Ogambi Bobi Wine cannot win because there are limitations.
Yes.
It is Chigandish. But there are some people who are supporting.
Turn it into a Chigandi Kabaka Yikafi. Obote used to say in 1980, look what the Democratic Party is like the other political party called the what? Why? Sem Ogarede, Sendagura, Sendegea, Sebana, Sabun Nekaseka. Kubaka soka nekabajjako abasoka 10 nikisigala Chigandish. In Uganda, once you want people, we have what we call the Buganda boogie. In fact, I was explaining to these people like Ebidandi Serike Chintu Musoke, like Paulo Mwanga, who rebelled against the Mengo feudalists, became nationalists, but they could not win in Uganda. Chintu Musaka wangu de constituency nga bajite myemu. Bidandi Salia wangu de constituency but myemu nakawo. And umbrella. Ngari UPC Kabaka carry silenced and the money. So, Bobi Wine has a problem. 2. Museveni has lifted the bar on the presidency. Bobi Wine akube bidongo babachi agalo kwe bidongo nga jamu shati nali emmere nago bato kanyuga kulalira twaja na birimba tasobola. Eyo ba Haiti. Eyo jama
mulimu gwe n'oli
abandon become a gentleman.
Olitagenda mu ntebe buli weekend.
Become a gentleman.
Zunagenda n'alunde.
Yije katokipa ne babushi ba cowboy. Eyo culture ye. This is culture. But the conduct, your conduct. The president ava mu bidongo. Nti banange nti nange muninde ne guntata wangu no rutaya. Banange muninde ne baby girl. How can an MP sing? An MP nga chasigala nyimba akunama. Asia abandon wanu. Tani yourself
abakoze message nga kubawandika akatabo. Kubona nti batukasuka kulalira naye twajja na bintu. Tasobola
kuyimba mu bantu. Honale ba abandoninga job ye.
And which Bobi Wine has done.
Yes.
Tachayimba.
Anti ngamba rutaya.
Yategekera ntebe. Rutaya alagawa
anti kyenkubulya izana MP nange bannange nja kubeerayo ne baby girl abandon one
abantu bebagala society bwetyo
abandon one kalifatulaba twakulanga tuwomerwa nnyo obwolo bw'enkoko naye nga batutiisa nti oba mutiitiisi naye kakati obwolo bw'enkoko ate buli mu woteeri gy'obulirako ng'abaana tebakulaba kubajja kulwana nabo
Nemole n'amatovu
atajogebwa takkiriza bujozi onyamu
ate okujoga abalala
nfuuka ekidoli bakanyuge bajja wano webatwala wano bateeka wano bateeka eryo nfuge nze yankuba yali oku naye teri yansonga mu lugala ali bana mirembe mu nsi
bwolowooza emirembe balina bayire oke gwoyomba nabo babuuza omusajja ayomberanga ki batubasa batuuza oyo omusajja abeera ayombera ki buli kiseera
nkikola nkigendereza
omusajja teyeebaka
mwenda bamubuuza mwenda yabagamba but how can this man keep anger for 10 years? The professor of psychology told them this man has a unique brain. It brings back something you did him in the past to appear fresh. That's why he can kill you. Tasonyiwa mu nsi tumukola kinuka nti ojjamuwa omulimu era n'abaga nti the man prefers his integrity to dangling money.
You have 4 doctors in your family, you have lawyers as your children, your family is successful, your brother is rich, your wives are rich, you dress in expensive suits every day, and you keep quarreling as if toliyangako waddeka olinga asule
quarreling over jobs era yajjawo oyo namutwala mu New Vision. I hear Mirundi quarreling. I'm not quarreling over a job but undermining my businesses. Buli omu newali sente nazikwata buli wali sente zange nazikwata alowooza nti one day we shall talk, we shall never talk.
Si ye yakwata mu Utoda mwe mwale mu kuddukanya
sente zange. A Canadian investor gave me money, Museveni gave me money nazikwata ye kalugire ndi bamuwezize lego fees ezange nazikwata mundi ati nalinja kubati nalinja kutulikira mu office. He must sign a document nalinja kutulikira mu office yamu nsayininga nti sirikozesa gundi recordings nalinja kutulikira okuva le mwampita ekyankwanzi nga muyise ba advisor nga temuyitangayo
recordings abantu baga nti ziri fake
kale
nti
walibeerawo gavumenti ezibawuliriza nolaba banyenye emitwe nga badduka. That's my nuclear weapon. Eri jogole munia ku bantu ate kati genda kushirika mukoza abawutule
tebakugana kuzanya tape bagamba ziri fake they are damaging they are fake singa zibadde entuufu
jogole noli banjogedde emyaka 10 nanjoka nani ku mutwe nagana sente zange nakola ki Museveni nampa sente why does Museveni sente simuwanga ku sente a Canadian investor gave me billions nabazikwata erichi Mirundi bwenna kubeera mu gavumenti baniemu fuka ekitoli onaniemu nonaniemu programu zange ne bazijjako
nekati oli ku programu oyogera ekikuyobya ki
kati nguyaze mu wrestling tukola tuti ayingidde nende okumulaba ko bwadduka joze ensi atuniedde ku mitwe emyaka ngadduka n'obujozi bwe ajja kudduka kubanga naye mumukubye nganzi very defiant
can become president tomorrow family name government in prison Mirundi nakusiba
tasobola
nokabire
tasobola.
The other is blood is thicker than water. You don't do a vista in that family. The other is
gendo down loading ekyali ekyadi abakobo bepankera ku mutabani wa president who is dead. Gandhi down the road. What happened in Chad recently? Who you married for Victoria's? Abako over. E was Saddam bako. Saddam yabasala nabawala nabawasiza abalala. The Bako cannot defeat your family members. When Yusimo was moving with the batata babatobano banzeire bani nti family yakaguta edire ekintu kyali kyeyalwanira nga n'amasasi gakyabali mu mubiri nti omukaki kunyulewo waliwo emmese eyinza okujja ennyama mukama kakapa ne bwe bankadde naye obwo bujozi buba bwankula ki n'owasa omukazi n'otwala ne pawa obwo bujozi buba bwankula ki obujozi obunuka obuteebalira obujozi obunuka kakati mbadde nkunyonyola Bobi Wine nti myayino oli musajja okola amataffaali bw'oba olina kaali 12 ewuwe waka toyinza kasombesa matafali ojja kulwawo opangisa tipa kakati nze Bobi Wine mumanyi kali 12 yes. The role of Bobi Wine can do, because he's an American agent, is to pressurize these people to change.
Now you are changing a statement. You said Wabali.
And
today we are calling him an American agent.
Next time I'm going to bring a book. Nakugamba ndi Bobi Wine we yamali bali ako sente zaabwe. Na yenda wa Amsterdam. Amsterdam was not his lawyer. Amsterdam is a recruiting officer of CIA. This is how Bobi Wine entered the American camp. America is scouting for younger people who appeal to the younger people, even if they are not highly educated, but who can help them to flash out to the Chinese influence.
What can Bobi Wine do in that case?
Akoze omulimu munene. Human rights, but not power.
But I hope you know that in a fair election, Bobi Wine can defeat
atasobola. Bobi Wine atasobola kuwangula Muhoozi.
Akali mukubba.
Nkubulire.
Akalali.
In politics you don't leave the ground. Anti nkubulira. Nti two, there are three formidable forces mu Uganda. Let me tell you. Tuyina kye tuyita FICO support.
FICO?
Yes. Tuyina kye tuyita permanent support.
Permanent support.
Tuyina kye tuyita sentimental support.
FICO, permanent, sentimental.
Yes.
Kena ngonjawulira kimu ku kimutandika
FICO support. Omanyi kye tuyita gondi flash waves. Tosanga amazinga gatumbidde bwe gati. Enkya n'otagalabawo. Naawe wennyini waliwo lw'otumbiira naye ogenda okulaba mu ddakiika nga 5 ng'eribadde eggumba libuzeewo.
Tugende ku FICO support.
Kati ebagita FICO support.
Otumbiramu awo. Dakiika 5.
Nzo ogamba nti nga mbuliddwa olubaawo nnyinza okuwanikako amabaati. Ogenda okulaba nga badde yekalakasa yadduse dda. That's FICO. That's FICO support.
Okay, tugende ku permanent support.
Kakati sentimental support. Oyinza okukolera abantu ekirungi. Look, nga bamwita batya Kosipigei onadduka emisinde. That's sentimental.
Chiputegei.
Sentimental support. Ti Uganda giwangulidde ki? Omudali. Sentimental. It comes from sentimental. Permanent kibeeranga ku ba traditional leaders or religious leaders. For them babagalanga bantu. That's why I told these people, temuyinza kuddira kifaanana bwe kityo ekyakabaka ng'afaanana bw'atyo.
Otandise ebyakabaka Mirundi
ne mukiteeka mu mawulire. If you have public relations manager or a minister of information in Mengo, tayinza kikkiriza. God talk to these people. That's why I praise the handlers of the first lady. Ekifaananyi kye kiri attractive.
All the time.
The photo can even force you to read the story.
True.
Yani akimukolera ekyo. Omukulembeze tebayinza mulaga bwe batyo. Nti ayasame akoze atya kuba buno obwamawulire obwagata press.
You know that when you touch the kabaka, you touch my heart and the heart of my mother. Leave the kabaka.
Go political opportunities. I'm telling these people, nti Roosevelt was a cripple. Polio yamukubanga president wa America tebamulaga ko kifaananyi. Ono omusajja wa North Korea Kim Il-sung, the founder, yayina enkududu emabega wano nga tekubwa ekifaananyi. Teri yagirabako. Bush vomited at a dinner in Japan. Have you ever seen that photo? Ono gundi Kibaki yali ava mu mmotoka empale n'egwanga teyagisibe musipi n'egwa wansi edisibwe n'ava emabega n'amukubira saluti n'agisiba n'agitawo n'addamu n'amukubira saluti. Ekifaananyi kya Kenya bakiragako nolaba waliwo Kenya minisita nga bamuyita Michuki yali musajja mugagga nnyo. Abamawulire bamusoberera nga yambadde stocks njulifu. His wife came up and they explained, please blame me. It's me who is supposed to prepare what my husband puts over every morning. You have a busy. The woman had to come and explain kubanga alina torn socks. That's what I'm telling these people. Nti bibifaananyi tebibeerayo ng'oyina a public relations manager or a minister of information toyinza biteekamu ye which other picture photo gye bataalaga nti oyina okubeera nga gondiyo
nga bwe balaga ekya Museveni nga atuwandulira mu kapapula tewakyogerako
anti bibyo nankugambye
nti
handlers
a
handler and an advisor anti handler ya mugamba handler nze nasanga obuzibu omusesa usonga omuzungu bwe yajjanga n'agamba nti weesiige powder mugundi mu kamera ekujjeko ngakkiriza but an African ne Uganda ne bwomugamba nti muzeeyi tukole ki I'm not a film star
abazungu bakimugambanga
akkiriza waliwo obuzungu bwajjano bubiri ne bumubba sente empitirivu nye ne bufuna n'embuto nga hopeless ne bwamulya sente empitirivu ne butunuulira nti ne mugati mujja kujoga buwala mmwe babufuna n'embuto wano hopeless bwali bumaze okusuula Gaddafi bwali bwa sayi ne bujja wano n'abuwa emmotoka n'abuwaki n'akola ki baliwo abuleesi nze nabutegedde these are hopeless people nga tebusobola
kunjtegedde okujja n'okufuna embuto
anti bwe babuleeta wano mbu expert to help the government to improve on this image bwajja ewange omusajja gye wange naŋŋamba we have been sent by recruited by the prime minister to improve the image of government nemugamba you people you can't tell the prime minister that as a Muganda we call what we have call MP bad breeze comes from what you have eaten yesterday. The prime minister is one of the people MP who is creating a bad image for this government. Get out of my office. Ati wano was Russian nga mumai wakegibi aliko wano nabagoba mu office yange nti you hire a group to help you to improve your image evudde ku kimpi eva mu lubuto nimukola byennyingi
nakutereza biri mu lubuto
lwo if you want to stop bad breeze omala olunaku lulamba nga tolidde eri emmere enfuna ekolaki kakati how can you hire a team to help this government every time oyina scandal mabaati sente zagundi mbuzi biki
NSSF
bwe tuba tusoma ebyo bya public relations batugamba nti even there are times when you say this government is not I cannot defend this government. However expert you are, this government is not defendable. Hopefully cannot defend this government.
Now mulimu bako ne kukule.
Anti bakugamba baganda tukugamba. Abaganda tukugamba nti bakuloga kidduka n'ogolya menvu. Okuloga to inoculate you from ekidduka ne running stomach. You eat penny bananas kati kukolere ki. Ogenda kudduka na nyaate.
Kwanga menvu ate gongera ogonza.
Bakuloga empira izi wildfire ate obunga na muliro fe abaganda tukola bwezo when a Muganda man or woman is going to train his son or to advise his son or daughter tokutwala ku muti gwa ntaligita ogimanyi entula entula yabala bulungi a Muganda man takes his son there or a Muganda woman takes her daughter there. When we are explaining something to your daughter, nakwata entula najirya gawe has been absent-minded. This is how we give wisdom and counsel to our children. A Muganda man will take his son where entula is. Nemunyumia. When you see the boy picking the entula, he is absent-minded. He's not interested in what you are telling him. But a person who is interested in what you are telling him, he ignores entula. He has no time to look for entula. Erecho fapu vitubagamba. Bwoba tambudde ne mukazi wo nosanga na attractive woman sooka omuvume. Naye malaya naye yina gye yavudde ewayo ne yambala bwete koza omwetegereza. Sooka omuvume.
Akuwulira. Osooka kwemwevumisa. Bweno malaya yonna nga Yesu mali.
Anti osanga abakazi akubye akawale bwekazi empale akasumbusa kayiseemu ate ataddewo amawulire wagenda okuva wote wetegedde nti ogenda kuyitamba
big story
this is a night
Joseph Tamale Mirundi
so I'm explaining Bobby Wine nti mu Uganda mufuliseemu
badde mpulira sumbuso
mu Uganda muvudde bushuma a speech is like a written a spoken speech is like a written speech. It must be punctuated.
UCC does not allow humor.
Oteekamu humor abantu tebeebaka. Don't allow people to kwebaka. Punctuate your speech with laughter abantu bebaka mwana nge tebakukoowa bannange no ne kasola abantu nga basoma amawulire waliwo omusajja yayogerera mu kutuba n'ayogera saawa ezi ali muzikiti ali ku kutuba omuzikiti ne gugwamu abantu ne musigalamu omusajja munamugamba naye kiki ekyamugezi kyenjogedde ekikubeezaawo ne saawa zonna naga ntoyina naye wayimiridde ku musaalo gwange obwedda
kale tugenze ku fecal support, permanent support, sentimental support. You said Bobi Wine has a fecal support equivalent to 1200.
Yes, in sentimental. But the problem is a large crowd is like a huge stomach. Unless you produce twins, can you convert? If you cannot convert victory from a large crowd, is useless. And large crowds are created. Ena muyinza okutegeera nti bwe twevuganya ffekka Bobi Wine agenda kuva mu kalulu ne bamuteeka mu.
Why do you think Muhoozi would have more support than Bobi Wine in an election if it was free and fair? Oli yali agezezzaako n'awangula n'omuntu. Nti ono asafalinga Kigandishi has a tag. Abantu bamulonda
mu kabira ezimu ate sirawutuwa.
They voted for him.
In Uganda,
bayina ebizibu byangu ffe batunyooma ne batuwa akafubu deputy chief singa nali muno okubandikazize district 12 zonna Eastern region MP bamuwa akafo katali
it is only a disorganized government like this one, because if we create crowds is creating artificially. Nti Semogere yagenda e Masaka mu 96 na addressing a huge crowd. Newe n'agamba n'okuga nti bannange bulijjo bagasiina bantu naye abaava ku lw'emasaka babba obutale bwonna bajja babba emmere obutale bwonna baaleka bukalu abaakatola embala babba obutale abantu ne bagamba olaba babbye kati nga tebannatuuka mu power tunasigaza akantu kati that was an artificially created crowd.
So the support ended there.
Yes, Semogere yali agenda e Kasese atuuka e Bushenyi n'asanga abambadde t-shirt ze wholesale crowd bamukuba empi poliisi yamuyamba omuzza mu mmotoka. So Jesus, the Romans created a crowd for Jesus. Jesus yayingira mu Yerusalemu nga yebagadde eki omwana gw'endogoyi after 4 days ngaali kalaba bagalabala ekitegeeza this one were not Christians. This one was an inflated crowd. The Romans created it. And in Kuburia and Kuganti, we create crowds for you, artificial crowds. Kakati,
I thought it's them that creates artificial crowds.
And in Kuburia, this is a political masturbation. I have never seen a political rally organized in a tent. Ezo yanzizyo kyogolaba nti onoonya mu kifaananyi kya Museveni kulale nga tekiriiyo abaana be bakulembeddemu waliwo abira sente mu tenti nalwiso n'asomba abantu n'omubbi wa soda. A crowd tebeera covered kubanga crowd a psychological kukanga abantu ne bwobba naye yina okubanga wafunye eki nti omukazi alina olubuto olunene ne bwabba omwana baga nti omukazi tubadde tumulaba wano.
Museveni yasobola kuba minisita b'amabaati leero nga bwagenda okwogera kisobola.
Where Muhoozi scores over other people, Museveni
parent base ya Muhoozi irudda
Museveni yamutereka
karuga nti Bobi Wine akaluka abaganda kasookera ye Muhoozi atandika
ate kankubuli Muhoozi ate wa mutawaana nnyo. Can the military, the Otafiles you are talking about, if Otafile can reach Muhoozi, can he allow Bobi Wine to be commander in chief? Ensi zonna zinereketa okukola eki bano ababbi ababba amabaati ababbi eki abaiconsolidated can they allow you obateekako anti-corruption abayole bonna ono atuniedde ku mutwe n'atunyalako kuba alina projekiti ye lwaki apanikinga kakati the westerners basobola okugamba olowooza mwesi eri akalulu. The moment in Western Uganda you become the official candidate of NRM, you've won. Omukazi yawangula kalulu okulutu with all her man and connections. The moment she took the party ticket. Kasitamu ankole ofuna party ticket oba owangudde, and that group is also becoming a what? That group is also becoming an electoral college. The devil you know is better than the devil the angel you don't know. These people who have batia only chumekanga anya zebuli wa munali okakagawala nani akubantu bakata kabanyi bonna nabani yako kati atia okufuluma ebweru omubutamivu yefukidde mu mpale tafuluma tasituka kubanga atia abantu okumulaba kakati bati emaali yaabwe kakati bana bati emaali yaabwe baali 10 fellowship yalimu bamemba 10 eyankuba kakati bayitimyemu olwamukozi
oliozanyira mu maali.
I always watch Mwenda. Mwenda says, Mwenda talks about a concept. Let us have a concept, agree on a concept, and market your concept. These people can sit on Muhoz. They have the money, they have politics is a name and the money. Because I'm not seeing Bobi Wine improving. No.
Bobi Wine?
Bobi Wine tagenda kuimproving.
Bobi Wine has improved.
No. Let me tell you. Kati ya Bobi Wine egenda kubeera destroyed. Why? Bobi Wine bamuyingiramu. I cannot rule out that is a powerful person who doesn't want the Segerinyas to testify. Akawumba tukabukedde kasebbowa kamulesenga mulwadde. Do you know nti bwolaga omuntu oyo nti mulwadde bwatyo oyambe n'anaamutta nti somebody ayinza okutta Segirinya kubanga oledde yavuyina ekireti the public naye oba ekiri mu bukedde kiki oba obusajja bwe bwayonka amabeere gambwa omenye waka wabeerawo embwa omwana yavulayo nka amabeere g'embwa. Are you helping nti Segirinya bamuleka agende ebweru abulireyo because kasobera mu ggwanga eddala tebasobola kukomyawo interpolice tekomyawo. Why? In a country where you have a death penalty you cannot tebasobola kukomyawo ekitegeeza Segirinya bamwongereko n'empingu endala nnya ayogera abo abalagera okutema abantu ebijambi. Why is the attention on Segirinya not Sewanyana?
Nawe olowooza nti baatema
baviyo. I salute Besigye. I salute Besigye. Nti Besigye, whenever he is arrested, Besigye challenges government as a real man. Freedom fighters are released from courts of law, not through negotiating deals. Hey, Segirinya akayingire oba twetaaga ddagala lifaanana litya oba twetaaga abakugu bajjanjaba paapu bajje bajjanjabe Segirinya. Segirinya ayingire akaguli ayogere abaamutuma ejjoogo liggweremu ddala.
Okkiriza baganda banno Segirinya ne Sewanyana
nze sibatajeti
nti batambe Masaka
ono gundi yakugamba ate how will we know sibatte weebali let them come up and we know kati
Segirinya oyo ayina bayizoge okwera mu bijambi
they use follows in their tribe. These people when they want to use the people they use the semi-literate baganda. They give them what they never expected. Segirinya yata ina buyigije namambukere n'emmengo ne bakezolanga gundi ya muwala kidanda linavaayo nagenda ekitali nabaga you people give me the visitors book. Why did he want the visitors book? This man was not in Kitali. Era bamuwa sente nadduka kidanda bamuwa sente. They use illiterate baganda. When these people want to use you they use semi-illiterate baganda. They encourage you to commit atrocity they will use in the future.
The big story Yosefu Tamale Mirundi Mirundi, as we wind up, do you expect Museveni to take tough action against the errant ministers ababama but today?
Taina chabakola. Once you were men, I told you. And once you were men, if all the Catholic priests decide to marry, what will the people do? What if they form their own party?
But when they form a party, what they will be?
We know. I think Kuburia is there. Is there agitation in Karamoja?
Maybe the Karamojongs are not aware what is going on.
No, media. Kativadu say, Kazimba, Tasola Kulaninga, Kanisa Katiadukide Kuchisiaga, Ebisiaga, Ebisiaga, Ebisiaga. We don't have Basiaga. problems. They want to create money for themselves. Nti church, an Anglican church cannot function without government funding. Eyakala kwekwasa. Sente twawoka n'abasiyazi ne batukatinga aid. Ono wekirevu n'ekirevu ki. Sente neza koze election zazije mu government. Era komyewo n'ekirevu ki afune sente. Kubanga is isolated by the Arab countries. Ekyo nkitegeera.
Nze Simon Muyanga Lutaya.